And we're back. This week there was so much movie news between Rotten Tomatoes barring people from being sexist and racist, the Dark Phoenix trailer, the Hellboy trailer, and the Detective Pikachu trailer that haunts me in my dreams. We will only have time to review one comic this week. So without further ado, let's talk movies. Wait, what? That felt wrong. Sweating. My upper lip is sweating. Can you tell? Ooh, maybe. All right. So we'll start with the comic. This week I reviewed Ice Cream Man. This is issue 10. Now I have heard so much about this comic. Each one is its own sort of vignette, and this one's first two-ish pages were in Spanish. And then I had to flip through the whole thing to make sure the whole thing wasn't in Spanish because I don't speak Spanish. But the remarkable thing about this was that you still knew what was going on whether or not you spoke Spanish, and of course that was very intentional. And comics being a visual literary medium, I think it was the perfect place to be able to tell a story about basically crossing borders, both physical and spiritual, emotional, in this story without alienating anybody. I was very, very sucked in. It was kind of a romance, kind of maybe demons, some sort of monster thing. Anyway, it was really good. I hadn't read any of these other issues. Rachel at Floating World Comics recommended this to me the last time an issue came out, and I, for some reason, put off reading it. I regret it, so I went back and read the other one too, which was great. But this one is about a girl, she's having her quinceañera. Sorry, I'm not saying that correctly. I have a very useful minor in German. Anyway, she's having her quinceañera, and it's also the Day of the Dead. An older man named the General has a somewhat inappropriate relationship with her, it seems, but she is in love with a young cowboy from over the Texas border who comes to visit her and has grand plans of taking her away. But the General, who is not just a human who is terrible, but something beyond, something that really emphasizes just how terrible he is, has other plans. All it used to take to cross the border was, feet and a functioning body, and how no borders exist when it comes to love and stuff like that. So it was both creepy and sort of on topic, on trend, and also mildly inspiring. So I thought that was wonderful. And I love the Day of the Dead artwork, and her quinceañera dress was so beautiful. And so I thought it was really cool. I don't know that I would see a comic, I just sniffled. I don't know that if I saw a comic and I was flipping through it in the store and I saw that some of it was in Spanish, I might be a little intimidated and maybe not pick it up because my Spanish is bad. But don't let that stop you, because this was a really beautiful story, beautifully drawn, and trust me, you won't have any problems understanding what's going on. So, Ice Cream Man, pick it up. It's a standalone, you won't be too confused or anything like that. It was really, really interesting. And I will continue reading them. I love that they're one-shots, so it's just you can just sit down and 15 minutes you've consumed a really interesting story. So that's the kind of stuff that I need because I'm a busy gal with a busy life, okay? Now, if I were a smarter woman, I would stop talking about the Captain Marvel controversy because trolls are coming for me. But you know what? I don't really care. I'm a strong lady. It's fine. And I believe in the cause. After all the controversy on Rotten Tomatoes, that is sexist men making gross comments on the movie before it even comes out, Rotten Tomatoes responded and said that we won't have the ability to comment on movies before they come out anymore. You can only rate whether you want to see it or not because of the unconstructive criticism. Now, before that unconstructive criticism on Captain Marvel, there was Black Panther, where people were being gross and racist. So, people leaving those bad comments are the reason we can't have nice things. But does it really matter? I think that these red carpet photos of Brie Larson signing things for little girls in Captain Marvel costumes says all you need to know about what the Captain Marvel movie means to people. A similar thing happened when Wonder Woman came out in theaters. There were little girls dressed up as Wonder Woman, and also the Ghostbusters, and these female-led movies are so important. I really can't tell you enough about how important it is. I bought my ticket, I'm ready to go, I'm gonna see it March 7th. Sat between two strangers in a middle row with a giant tub of popcorn and a Diet Coke, because that's how I roll. And how about maybe some sour straws, because treat yourself. And we have some trailers to talk about. First of which, we're gonna talk about Dark Phoenix. Now listen, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm saying it right now, the X-Men is my favorite franchise, and I have such a soft spot for any X-Men story. That being said, the movies have left a little bit to be desired. I'm a huge fan of Michael Fassbender, I think he's a great actor, and James McAvoy, so I will see them, and I'm interested in it. And of course, Sophie Turner, I think, will make, and has made, a decent Jean Grey. It's just, these movies fall a little flat in my opinion. And this trailer looked interesting. I think it's really cool, you know, to talk about the Phoenix Force, what it is. It comes from space, it inhabits strong people, and in this case, Jean Grey, and it's often associated with Jean Grey, but the Phoenix Force has taken over other people like Emma Frost and Scott Summers, of all people. And, you know, kind of talk about what that is and seeing Jean sort of struggle with that sort of thing. But the thing is that we saw this story already, and it was, you know, a movie. That's about what I have to say about it. You know, there are so many storylines within all comic books, not just the X-Men, but all comic books. And so there's so much to work with. I don't understand why we're spending the time to tell the same stories over again. Like, I'm tired. I heard that there's a New Mutants movie in the work, and it was pushed back. But that's stories I want to see. That's really interesting. I'm just so sick of seeing the same X-Men stories told over and over and over again. And for a comic that was made and its whole purpose was to talk about, you know, acceptance and the differences between people, and, you know, as a big allegory for racism and stuff, like, you're telling the same stories with the same central characters over and over and over, and honestly, yeah, I'm kind of sick of it. Am I going to see it? Abso-freaking-lutely. But, you know, whatever, that's my 5 cents. But we have to talk about Hellboy. Now, when the first teaser trailer came out, people weren't so sold on the new Hellboy. That's David Harbour from Stranger Things, playing our favorite beer-chugging demon. But this new trailer makes it seem like the internet is maybe changing its tune. We got to see some familiar characters, and of course, a closer look at Hellboy, even baby Hellboy. So cute. We also got to see the Blood Queen, played by Mila Jovovich, and she looks awesome. So I'm really interested in this story. Again, we're getting a Hellboy background, but you did get to see him as a baby, so maybe we're going to learn more than we learned in the original franchise, which was 15 years ago. Can you believe that? That just blows my little mind. It seems like it wasn't that long ago. I have hope for this movie. It's going to be rated R, which is great. I really enjoyed the Deadpool movies because there wasn't such a barrier in terms of what he could say and what he could do, and I think Hellboy is definitely a comic that lends itself to an R-rated movie because he curses a lot, he drinks a lot, there's a lot of violence, and that sounds like a weird thing to be excited for, but you know, whatever, I'm trash. So, what did you think about the new Hellboy trailer? Are you interested in seeing it? Are you nostalgic for Ron Perlman as Hellboy, or are you wanting to see a new story? And where the heck was Abe Sapien? Because he's my favorite Hellboy character. I love him so much, and I think Doug Jones did a fabulous job playing him in the original 2004 movie. So, you know, he's missing from the trailer, and it has me a little concerned. But I guess it doesn't really matter. Are you excited to see the movie? Are you gonna see the movie? What do you think? It comes out this year. And the last movie we have to talk about is Detective Pikachu. Now, I am a 90s child, so Pokemon was my jam, but it's a couple of things. So, I feel so weird seeing the texture of Pokemon skin. That's not a thing that I think my little brain was ever prepared to do. And also, I just keep waiting for Pikachu to drop an F-bomb because it sounds like Deadpool. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds is playing the voice of Pikachu and he plays Deadpool, but it sounds so wrong to me, and I feel so weird about the juxtaposition of his voice and then when other people are looking at Pikachu making its cute Pikachu noises. And I get that it's supposed to be funny. I just feel weird about it. I don't know. I'm gonna go see it anyway because there's such a huge nostalgia factor, but I'm just really hoping it doesn't ruin my childhood. What do you think about it? Also, big shocker is that Jigglypuff is furry. And the alternative would be Jigglypuff just as a sphere of skin, which is nasty. But I never really thought about it. I have thoughts and feelings that I don't have time to convey here and now. But tell me what you think about all these movies coming out. A lot of people are just taking a big old dump on Dark Phoenix, and I can understand why. We didn't get the best movie out of that plotline before, and it is a really cool plotline. Are you, like me, sick of seeing the same stories told over and over again and wanting new X-Men stories to be told? That sounded like some sort of infomercial pitch, and I'm sorry. I'm not gonna shoot it again. Anyway, let me know what you think about these movies that are coming out soon. What are you hyped to see? What aren't you hyped to see? And as per usual, please drop your comic suggestions in the comments below. I wanna know what you're reading. I wanna know what I should be reading. And like always, I got my comics at Floating World Comics, located at 400 Northwest Cooch Street. Everyone there is so nice and so helpful, and they recommended the Ice Cream Man to me ages ago, and I'm sorry that I didn't listen, so that should be excuse enough for you to know that they have great taste. So, that's all I have for you this week. Sorry about another angry Captain Marvel rant. Hopefully I will be able to stop, but y'all need to stop your nonsense on the internet. and we talked about movies this week, mostly movies. And I had a little bit of a busy week, which is the real reason why I didn't read too many comics this week. But you know, life sometimes gets in the way. But the one that I chose was a perfect one to read this week because, I don't know, it made my heart happy even though there were some sad parts in it. And I think that that is the power of comics, make you feel stuff. And I'll be back, same place, same-ish time. And this has been KGW's Comic Pick of the Week. If you ever want to be really unapproachable, just put on some gray lipstick. Nobody wants to talk to the weird girl with the gray lipstick.